Oilers Nation After Dark begins now.
The Edmonton Oilers, not a Game 1 team. They never claimed to be a Game 1 team. There's been 14 playoff series for the Oilers since 2017. They've had 3 Game 1 wins. This is nothing new for the Oily boys. This is not a spot we have never been in before. This is a spot they have climbed out of before. But, I mean, that had a little bit of everything in that one as the Edmonton Oilers lose 6-5 to the LA Kings. I personally did never think the over was going to hit in this game. Never did I think that there would be 11 total goals. But hello and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark. I'm your host, Bordzy, Aaron Bordato, and ONAD. It's a presentation of Bet365 because you know it. You download the app, you know that whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. This evening, I'm joined by the one, the only Matthew Wozniak, who, Brett, really hasn't said a word pre-show yet. I think he's still processing.
Yes.
After 40 minutes, I was ready to start the postgame show. I went, holy shit, could this get any worse? I was texting our new friend, Dubnyk, the words he used, this is gross. Ugh, was the Oilers. But all of a sudden, third period comes around. The Oilers just wake up. Matthias fucking Janmark is scoring goals with his stick and against goaltenders, and you felt the momentum. The Oilers, by far the better team in the third period. Thought it was going to be the classic case of too little, too late. They end up tying the hockey game with just a couple minutes to go, and before you know it, your heart gets ripped out of your chest.
Yeah.
Philip Deneau, of all people, scores the game-winning goal as the LA Kings defeat those Oilers 6-5. Matthew, vibe check. I would like your initial thoughts. We're going to get into the Greta night we had because people, you're missing out if you're not down here at Greta. Period 1, vibes were down here. Period 2, even more down here. And then the third period was a magical experience that inevitably crashed all the way back down. But Waz, vibe check, vibe report, how are we feeling?
Vibe report, I'm feeling somewhat positive because the Edmonton Oilers dug themselves out of a hole. That gives me, there you go. We're back in it. Just like the Oilers, they were back in it for a little bit there. They tied the game 5-5, and that gives me a little bit more hope, a little bit of a silver lining going into game 2. Game 1 is over. We got to move on. It was a roller coaster of emotions. It's unfortunate it didn't go to OT, but it is what it is.
Never been a Game 1 team. Never claimed to be a Game 1 team. Nothing new for the Oilers. But let's get caught up in the chat before I bring on our new friend, Devin Dubnyk. So this one, first comment I saw, happy to have Dubs on, because Doug Waite says Stuart Skinner sucked so much. The whole point of having Doobie is we're going to ask him that because I thought the Edmonton Oilers defense, especially the second period, fuck it, I'll say it, especially Evan Bouchard, left Stuart Skinner out to dry in the second. Wise Bray says Doug Waite is a Kings fan in the chat. Psychos, I'm actually not that worried. Same thing I kind of subscribe to. You might have woke up the Edmonton Oilers in that third period. There's a lot to discuss of what happened there, but you could feel the momentum. Darcy Kemper allows 5 goals against. That's something to build on for these Oilers. Kiana, she's positive. What a game. Going to be a hell of an entertaining series. And Brett, she says it is still a cup year.
Cup year.
Goal tonight is to get Devin Dubnyk to say cup year. Also, I can see Lance Kane back there screaming cup year in the distance. Matt, how do we allow the final goal after tying it up? That's not only deflating to this game, but to the entire series. Big obstacle to overcome. Initial reaction to that comment? Settle down. Relax. Aaron Rodgers, it's game 1. As I just said, the Oilers have played 14 playoff series since 2017. They've won game 1 3 times. Okay. Ren says pulsating action though. LOL. Shout out and homage to our boy Jack and Louie, who I thought were great on the call. Silas, y'all be cowards. That's an LA Kings troll in the chat. What I say to our chat, sick him, boy. Go get him. If he wants to be in here, you go give it to him. Sadistic. Oilers never gave up in the end. Lance Kane from a mile away. Cup year. Ryan S. Both goalies made big saves. None are to blame. They just got scored on. That's the game's Midwest scumbag. Stuart Skinner is the worst player on the team. So obviously play the hits, Evan Bouchard, seen a couple of those. Stuart Skinner, of course. Lewis, LA thinks they won the cup. Brett, you were screaming. Also, if you've never been to Greta, we're going to talk about Greta in just a minute. My favorite part, and we do a lot of awesome shit here, giveaways, prizes, free, prepaid beverages, I will say, when certain things happen for the Edmonton Oilers. Not allowed to say it on the show. Imagine what that could be. Get your ass down to Greta. Brett, you were screaming the entire game. The biggest obscenities, the biggest, best chirps. That's the best part of being here. And at one point, you were screaming, LA thinks they've won game one. Brett, what's your vibe check right now?
Oh, dude, if it wasn't for the LA Clippers carrying basketball in LA, I'm pretty sure that the Kings fans thought they won the cup tonight. It was unbelievable. You sat there and watched Adrian Kempe put his little tongue out, go, thinking he won the cup tonight. Good for them, buddy. I hope they go to fucking, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an obscure LA place. I don't care. Go to Compton. Let's see how it really is.
Melrose Place. Go to Compton. That's what you're wishing to be.
Yeah, that was
Compton's a very recognizable place.
Englewood's always up to no good.
And of course,
I have a lot of respect for Compton. I stayed around there in an Airbnb. It was a very nice Airbnb. You show some respect for Compton.
You stayed in an Airbnb in Compton.
It was near the border of Compton, but it was basically Compton.
Anyways. All right, I'm just going to move past that one. We've got Super Chats. Reminder, they're all in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, a cause incredibly near, incredibly dear, and a cause that we have raised so much money for this season. Brett, I think heading into the playoffs, probably alone on pre- and post-game, we've raised close to, if not over, $2,000. Mm-hmm. Today on Oilers Nation Everyday 7-hour mega stream, we raised $2.4K, $2,400, because every one of you in the chat, you're also sick pups because it made us draw flags, me shotgun beers. Oh no, the worst job in the world. Continuing along here, Tammy, our queen, $10, says amazing comeback. Remember, we have a habit of losing game one. Thank you, Tammy. We got this. Stick taps, hearts for Ben always. Cup, yep.
Cup, yep.
Cup, yep.
I need Devin Dubnyk to say cup, yeah, at the end of the show. Rusty's in, $5. This reminds me of game one versus Calgary in 2022. We all know how that series turned out. This is going to be Edmonton's worst game of the series. I'm not worried at all. That doesn't just apply to the Calgary series. That applies to a ton of the Edmonton Oilers history post-2017. Bosch, he's got the frowny Kenny Banya face from Seinfeld, $6.99. Difference was a Boosh slot pass to Byfield and a lame Boosh soft backhand clear up the boards. Only game one. We've got them figured out now. Cup, yeah, exactly.
Cup, yeah.
If we're going to sit here and we're going to go at Stuart Skinner's neck, we've gone at Evan Bouchard's neck all year. We joke, Brett, just play the hits. It's either Skinner or Bouchard. I know which one I'd lean to more on this game. Cadbury Mini Egg, very timely name, $5. Oil and 5, L.A. Frauds let their in-division rivals come back from 5-3 with an all-time breakdown. Cup, motherfucking yeah.
Cup, motherfucking yeah.
DTCB will save us.
We'll figure that one out later.
Brown. Downtown Connor Brown.
Without
a doubt. Ruff Fox is in 279. What is the assessment after the game and the refs? First one, fought back hard. Second one, soft as baby shit, if you ask me, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Mr. Cates, a lot of super chats. Doobie's now realizing how many super chats as he waits in the wings. $4.99. Doobie, that's not the real Mr. Cates. That's our Mr. Cates in the chat, the sock puppet. The Oilers didn't give up like some fans. All you doubters and haters can go watch another team. See you next Tuesday. All right, Mr. Cates. Once again, I'm going to apply the Aaron Rodgers to you, RELAX, and we're all friends here. We're all family here, LEE. But you're damn right, Wednesday, the Edmonton Oilers. If the third period Oilers come out on Wednesday, say goodnight, the LA Kings. Come on now, Xylus. Here's the troll. He's giving $5 to the Ben Stelter Foundation. We appreciate our trolls. This, y'all, be coward, is the one saying Kuzmenko killed us. He is a trolling Flames fan. I'm a devoted Oilers fan since 2011. Okay, maybe that's on me.
Hand up. I want to hear it.
I'm very confused. Hand up, accountability. If I'm coming at you, I apologize. I apologize, Silas. You were going at Stuart Skinner a little bit earlier. Before we get into game talk, we're at Greta Bar Yag, of course. I'm going to be here for every pre- and post-game this season. You're not going to see me at home. You're not going to see me in the studio. You're only going to see me here. Monday night, That doesn't matter to Oilers fans. Monday night, 8 p.m., even after 8 p.m. puck drop, this place, tons of energy. So many people. Oilers jerseys, left, right, center, had all kinds of fun games. Played a little Ice is Right. Bob Barker rules, cannot go over. Had some fun activations, fun games. Was overall, the night started, good vibes. The first period goes down. The Oilers, 6 shots in that first period. Really gave us nothing to cheer about. Well, halfway through the second period, they continued to just have 6 shots. Halfway through the game, had 6 shots. It was dark times here vibe-wise. I did my job. I did my part. I'm throwing out T-shirts. I'm creating games. I'm getting this place going. But the Oilers just don't give us anything. And then that third period comes. This bar goes from 0 to 1,000 just like that. Now I would say 6-5 also goes from 1,000 back down to 0. I literally fell over in the fetal position in front of the big screen. Overall thoughts on the roller coaster inside of Greta Bar Yag tonight and the atmosphere?
I'm just glad that we got an entertaining hockey game out of it. I'm glad we got some goals from the Edmonton Oilers because it kind of felt a little lifeless there for a little bit as LA kept scoring and the Edmonton Oilers were not scoring. But the vibes are good. It was game 1. I think it kind of, I don't know, just set the tone for the playoffs because it can be a roller coaster of emotions, and we're feeling that at Greta. Right now, the music in here is fantastic. We're playing Waka Waka by Shakira. If I wasn't on the show right now, I'd be moving those hips.
I still am moving these hips underneath this table. You don't know what's going on underneath this table. Greta, great vibe. Once again, Wednesday night, we're going to be here. And then, of course, we're going to be here Friday and Sunday as well. They're not going to be nation events per se, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to be on the mic, so I think it's Friday night. Brett, we're going to be here, and we're going to be leading the charge.
We are going to be here.
A very good time. Before we bring on our new friend, he's brought to you by Boston Pizza, a staple in any small town in Alberta. The way I say, you're a real city if you have a Tim Hortons and a Boston Pizza. Was this year, we bring it home. BP's last year was team up for the win. Could a Canadian team finally win the cup? Their commercial this season just says, hey, you can't jinx it when it's been this long since a Canadian team has won the cup. Very, very excited to have Boston Pizza on. We even ordered some BPs earlier today. And Brett, let's bring on our new pal, our new friend, Devin Dubnyk, joining us from the Central Time Zone, which tells me, Dubnyk, what time is it locally right now for you?
It's past 12:30.
Let's clap it up. Wow. Let's clap it up for Devin Dubnyk right now. Everybody in the chat, if you want to give super chats for this or that, how about we give them up for Devin Dubnyk doing the show late night and virtually. Dubs, unfortunately, you're not here at Greta Bar Yag. The offer still stands. I really want you to come in here. This place would go nuts if you showed up here. It was kind of the tale of, I'll say 40 minutes and then 20 minutes, Dubnyk, because through 40, the Oilers, like I said, through 30 minutes, had literally 6 shots on net. This was a dead dog laying there for the Edmonton Oilers. Not much to be cheering about. Evan Bouchard decides to just gift the LA Kings 2 goals in that second period. But all of a sudden, we get to the third. We see some signs of life from the Oilers. Not just signs of life, like serious comeback energy. They tie the game 5-5. I just want to ask you, Dubs, you texted me in the second and said, this is gross. I was ready to start the post-game show after 40, but this roller coaster that is the Edmonton Oilers, you've watched them. They're down but never out, right?
Yeah, they are. I mean, with the talent they have, but I mean, what a crazy hockey game it was. It was like the tale of 3 hockey games. Even in the first period, shitty call to start, and LA makes a great play. It ends up in the back of the net, and then I didn't mind the Oilers game in the first period. It was I didn't like the reason they weren't having as many shots. I thought they were passing up a lot of shots. And listen, I'm not one to just throw the puck on net. I hate that. I think the creativeness of the game today and the reason why so many goals are scored is because teams don't just throw pucks on net. It can essentially be a turnover if you're just chucking pucks from the wall and stuff. But I did feel like there were opportunities, guys skating downhill, guys going to the net where there was chances to shoot and just create that chaos early to where that can open stuff up later on in the game. And I thought there was just a little bit too much hang on, a little bit, one too many passes in the first period. That's why we had the low shot total. But I didn't mind it other than, dagger to give up with 30 seconds left in the first to make it 2-0. And then come out in the second period, and like I text you, it was gross. It It was the first period with the no shooting, except the chances were coming very sporadically. It was not the same puck possession. It was not the same zone time that they had before. It was just kind of sloppy back and forth. And then, Edmonton would give up a really good chance and they'd kind of get a chance the other way and try to make 3 passes and just nothing, no even looks at shots. And then the penalties. Sorry, not the penalties in that one. The penalties were in the third period. Non-playoff Bush. That was one of our keys to the game was playoff Bush, and unfortunately in the second period we got non-playoff Bush. Couple of gross plays back to back, to be honest, and 3 pretty bad ones on 1 goal. I mean, you got a lazy clear up the boards. He has time. Again, you want these guys to make plays, but he's got an option to make a play on his forehand. He kind of makes a lazy clear on his backhand. Okay, fine, not the end of the world. His guy kind of loses a battle on the boards. Fine, but then he's lazy coming back, and the puck goes, and he kind of does a lackadaisical shoulder check to see what's coming. Well, you guys don't have the puck, so what are you looking for? And then those are those things we talked about where it seems like when he gets a little bit lazy, a little bit behind, he's just that 3-4 inches. We talked about it before the game. Look what happens. The puck goes, he's a little slow shoulder checking, misses the puck by 3 or 4 inches, the guy behind the net. And then I'm not entirely sure why he decided to go for a skate behind the net when 2 of his guys were behind the net. Then he gets tangled in a stick, ends up on his face behind the net, and just an all-around 3 pretty major mistakes, followed up by an absolute pizza delivery. Not from Boston Pizza, but they do make great pizza. But they don't deliver to the LA Kings in the slot like Evan Bouchard did there. Just no excuse for it. I mean, I realize you're trying to get the puck to Connor McDavid, the best player in the world. Even that pass was so bad that even Connor McDavid looked surprised as to what that was for me. And right on Danault's tape, I believe, and in the back of the net. So things were looking pretty bleak for Edmonton at that point here. Here's the pass. I mean, there's nobody that can handle this puck.
Where are you putting that puck?
Nowhere. I don't understand why you're even putting that to the front of the net in this situation regardless. Again, I realize it's Connor McDavid. He's the best player in the world. He can do magical things. But why to the front of the net here? What's the outcome? Even if McDavid accepts this pass and handles it, he's just going to curl to the corner. You could just chip it to the corner. His momentum's already going there. He's going to pick up the puck in the exact same spot. If you chip this puck to the corner, McDavid's going to get it in the corner and go. If you pass that puck to him, even tape to tape in that situation, he's going to continue on to the corner and be in the exact same spot. These are the decisions that need to change, and especially in playoffs, because it's just completely unnecessary. I'm all for, listen, guys are going to make mistakes. This one to me is pretty unacceptable.
It's been the roller coaster all season for Evan Bouchard. I've said this for 82 games now. With Bouchard, sometimes you just need to live to see another day. You don't need to make that game-breaking play, put it on 97 in front of the middle of the ice there in the middle of the net. Throw that one to the boards. Give that a simple clear and get it out. But Evan Bouchard tonight, Doobie, this is where you're so valuable to be on the show because I'm a guy. We've never played in the NHL before. Shockingly enough, Waz and I both have never done that.
What?
But Doobie, since I've been a 5-year-old kid, my dad taught me you don't throw the puck in the middle of the net. You don't throw it into the dangerous area, even if your guy's there. That's just the area you do not put it to. And the thing is with Evan Bouchard, we talked about it on pregame. We know what he's capable of doing. It's just these mental lapses that he has. And when in reality, it's a half-second brain fart, which then for him somehow turns into a 3-second, 4-second, 5-second, and the mistakes just start to compound. We all know it. Evan Bouchard is a lightning rod for criticism this season and in this fan base. Doobie, I wish you could be in this chat night in. No, I actually don't wish you could be in this chat night in, night out, but you are now. Also, we clap it up for Doobie's Boston Pizza. That's
a fucking pro right
I'm working on my plugs.
That's Ask Doobie on Wednesdays. Wait, what? Little shameless plug going on there as well. But Doobie, that was one of our big keys was playoff Evan Bouchard. We wanted to see playoff Bouch. I'd argue we saw a shit ton of regular season Bouchard, specifically in that second period. It has been roller coaster doesn't even describe it with where Evan Bouchard has been this year. 2 brutal turnovers in that second period where I said I was ready to start the show after 40 minutes. Give the Oilers credit. They fought back. Give Evan Bouchard credit. He does finish the game. He finishes with 3 assists. He is +1, 28-20. I'm still going to sit here and be quite upset about his game. I will say to start, because it's what we talked about. I was looking at Bouch going, okay, are we going to see some physicality? Are we going to see some anger? He was given a couple extra shots, getting some scrums here and there, but that's never going to be Bouch's game. And then it's all out the window with those couple turnovers. And Dewey, the line I've used all season is live by the sword, die by the sword with Evan Bouchard. Would you argue tonight the Oilers died by Evan Bouchard's sword?
I mean, yes, not necessarily. Like they end up coming back, but I think the thing is, like, they need him. They can't limit his minutes. So that's the thing where the live by the sword, die by the sword comes. Is that you have no choice. They need Evan Bouchard. They need him on the ice, and so he needs to make better decisions because regardless of what decisions he makes, he's going to continue to play. So they need him to be better. And it wasn't his entire game. He was fine. And that's the thing that with him is that it's the mistakes are so glaring that it's like all you can think about is those 2 plays in the second, not the rest of his game. And like you said, 3 assists +1. I realized they had to come back, but they are so glaring, and he's going to be on the ice so much that, again, you just got to clean those up. And I think fortunately for the Oilers in this one, there's so many good things that you can take out of the third period. Their battle back, obviously, they get a big goal at the end of the second, put their foot on, then a little bit of momentum. Then this is where the reffing comes in that we can talk about or not talk about. Pretty terrible calls throughout the third period. Down 5-2, things looked bleak again, and they just kept pushing. And I think, for all the Stuart Skinner haters out there, I don't see why in this game, if you want to walk through goal by goal, you can maybe pick on the second goal a little bit for being a little slow getting back to the post. Again, that's being nitpicky. Other than that, I'm not sure why you're picking on Stuart Skinner in this game. It doesn't make sense to me. I thought, and a really good positive, what I was getting at is he shut the door. He was actually unbelievable when they were starting their comeback. And then they go to the 2-minute 5-on-3. The whole Oilers penalty kill and Skinner were fantastic. But even after that, he was making save after save and starting to look solid and look confident and making these big saves. And they'd get a couple scoring chances, and he was making confident saves look easy. He was holding on to rebounds. And that was the thing early on in the game, is even though he wasn't getting a lot of shots, still didn't get that confident feeling from him. And I think to have that chance, I realize they lost, but to get that confident Stuart Skinner in the third and us showing us making these big saves, giving the Oilers, he gives up one more there. I realize they lost the game. He gives up one more there. They don't have a chance to come back. He made 3, 4, 5 huge saves during that time to get back to 5-5. And I think that's a huge thing for the Oilers going forward.
I thought that 5-on-3 Stuart Skinner was absolutely incredible. Darnell Nurse was blocking shots. Josh Brown was blocking shots. Stuart Skinner was stopping pucks left, right, and center. And you've been around the nation for a little bit now. You know how goaltenders can be so polarizing here with the nation's citizens, and there was no different tonight. Online, in the bar, people are going, and as I said it to you at one point, literally, it's just play the hits. You either blame Evan Bouchard or you blame Stuart Skinner. It's not that simple, people. Waz, I'm curious your thoughts for Stuart Skinner, because what Dubby mentioned there, the first period gets scored on like that. Wasn't the first shot, which we've grown used to about Stuart Skinner, but it was early. Didn't have you feeling so comfortable. After 40 minutes, you were going, okay, he's not the reason they're down. Once again, let me exemplify the Evan Bouchard mistakes there. But third period comes around, like Dubby just said. Stuart Skinner, I don't know if the Kings woke up a beast in the Oilers. They woke up Stuart Skinner. He looked like a different guy. Dubby, I want your opinion on that final goal in just a second, because just a deflating way to lose a hockey game. The line I used is that's just hockey. That's how it goes. But Waz, I'm curious your overall thoughts. Stuart Skinner's performance tonight. The box score hunters, as I call them, will be out because he stopped 24 of 30. That's a save percentage of .800 even. I mean, hey, you allow 6 goals. You're allowed for criticism to come your way, but I'm curious your thoughts. Stuart Skinner's performance, and then Doobie, we'll get to you on that last goal.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame every goal on the goaltender, I find. Sometimes you got to break down the situation and everything that kind of led up to that goal. And, it's always easy to blame the goaltender, especially for fans. They're the last line of
We're
defense.
preaching to the literal choir here.
Exactly, right? It's easy to hyperfixate on it. And funny enough, in my pregame notes, I said, Evan Bouchard, the Oilers need him to be more responsible with the puck and in the defensive zone and to be aware of his surroundings. And we saw some situations tonight where all that kind of happened, where he was not aware in the defensive zone and where he was putting the puck. And Stuart Skinner, I thought he was making a lot of big saves. But, when I guess some of the goals that he allowed felt deflating, like that last goal, the 6th goal. I don't want to entirely blame that goal on him because there was a lot of ice in front of him. There was a screen. It's just – I don't like blaming every goal on the goaltender because there's so many things that lead up to that goal. Yeah, you want Stuart Skinner to be making those game-changing saves, and I thought he made a few of those. He made 24 saves, not terrible, but then when you see the 6 goals allowed, I guess it just leaves you wanting more.
And I get it. That's what, Doobie, it's a thing I've used all year. I call them the box score hunters because you get it. You lived it. Some guys don't watch the game and they just check it and they go. Good point from Mega J here. 800 save percentage for both tendies. Darcy Kemper gets the W, so it goes down smoother, but he makes 20 saves on 25 shots for an 800 Wolven. If the Oilers have average goaltending, they win that game. Yes, you can say that after the fact. This is where I get frustrated. Dulks, 800 is a beer league goalie. 6 goals in 1 game is brutal. Dubnyk, am I ever on something here? I said Dubnyk. Devin, I can now use your first name. These box score hunters sometimes, you can't just read that and go 24 of 30. He was bad because it's below 900, which I feel like a lot of, not even Oilers fans, just fans do in general. And then statistics in and says Stu kept us in the game in the 3rd period. You touched on Stu, what you thought, what he did throughout the game. He battled, I will say that. He woke up in the 3rd period when he was more tested and he needed to be. I do think there is something there that you can build off. But the big one, it's that final goal, and Doobie, that's exactly why we got you here, because it was a quick play. It was a weird play. Puck off the nose stick with a weird edge, kind of floats in over him. Devin Dubnyk, what did you see on that final goal against Stuart Skinner?
Yeah, I mean, extremely deflating for everybody. I saw a group of players who'd been on the ice for about 4 minutes trying to back check to begin with, and that's obviously nothing against Leon. They are the whole reason it's 5-5 to begin with, but this one's tough to break down. I don't know if you can stop it here, but LA actually does a really good job. Warren Foegele is kind of everything here, so if he doesn't, he has such a good net drive here, and I was trying to watch Skinner because I didn't like that when he goes down and he moves to his left as he goes down, and that's obviously where the puck nicks his right shoulder and goes in. But you guys have to understand is he's got this play happens, okay? They drop the puck back. Warren Foegele, like I said, this is all him. Look at how hard he drives in that. Now watch this wall of ice right here, okay? So for all we know, the last thing that Stuart Skinner, good job stopping it. That was perfect too. For all we know, the last thing that Stuart Skinner saw here is a one-timer about to happen from the most primetime area on the ice on a guy walking downhill with a full head of steam was the last thing he saw before he hit it. And the next thing he saw was a wall of ice and then Warren Foegele jumping in front of him. And he might not have ever seen anything again. So it doesn't look like it looks kind of silly because of the way the puck flutters and goes in the net. And like I said, you want to pick at it. I don't like that he went down and slid to the side. However, you guys don't know what that looks like when things are coming 100 miles an hour straight at you, and all of a sudden there's an avalanche in your face, and the last thing you saw was a guy teeing up a one-timer. So your brain, your instinct is going to you're going to naturally. That's a left-handed shot there, taking the one-timer. Your brain is naturally going to instinctively go one way because you were essentially guessing where the puck's going to go. Where's a left-handed one-timer most likely going to go? Across the body, on a slap shot, to the glove side. That's what your brain is going to tell you, which means that little bit of instinct is going to have him moving to his left when he can't see. If he gets any part of that puck, it probably just goes wide or hits him or something. So again, you can pick it apart all you want. I think this is just a great job by Fogle driving the net. Oilers got caught a little bit on a long shift, which you can't blame them because they needed to get back in the game. But again, I could sit down and break down every one of these goals and find a something wrong with it. But that's not the game of hockey. There's goals go in, and I think the start of the game too. Like that was the problem. The way the Oilers were playing is they did have the puck, especially in the first period. That's why it's like, oh God, like we had the puck most of that period and we're down 2-0. Sure. And the reason the stats don't look good too is that, I didn't, like I said, I didn't love the push on the second goal. I thought it was a little bit slow to react off of the blocker. Again, being nitpicky. First goal, absolutely nothing you can do. I actually thought the Oilers defender played it really well too. It was just a perfect play by Fiala. Not really anything anybody can do on that play. And then you have the second goal, but he has nothing in between because the Oilers are trying to score, but they're not really getting shots either. And LA doesn't have any shots. So that's where it looks bad because it's like, oh, he didn't touch the puck and it's 2-0. But you have to just take the time and break down. And I think the most important thing is that we saw a much more confident Stuart Skinner lead this team back to an insane almost comeback. And that's what they need to be taking into the next game.
Do you think there's something to build on here with Stuart Skinner? Because we mentioned it on pre-gaming. I'm not making a joke of concussions, but I called it the factory reset. Mikko Rantanen takes the knee to the head. Stuart Skinner sits out for a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it is. He came back and he played 2 regular season games, one against the Jets, one against the Sharks. He allowed 1 goal in both of those games. And now, to start this one, didn't look fantastic. But I feel like I saw something there in the third period from Stu. I saw the confidence specifically on that 5-on-3. I felt confidence in Stuart Skinner going forward. And Brett, producer Brett here, Dubnyk behind the scenes, great guy. One of the many reasons why you need to come down to Greta, because he is the most elite chirper I've ever met. If you were a goalie and he was in the building, you would have hated Brett because he is so good. But Brett, you had a question about the LA crowd trying to get in Skinner's head.
Yeah, first of all, quit pumping my tires because then it's going to be disappointing for when Doobie actually comes out for a game. But all these Los Angeles Dodgers fans, all these Los Angeles Chargers fans.
Lakers lose one game, they become Kings fans.
Sorry, the Lakers, the LA Kings fans. You heard them all night going, Skinner, Skinner. As a goaltender, when you hear all of those people that are sitting there going, chanting your name, Dubnyk, whoever it may be, how much does that really get into your head? Or are you sitting there going, yeah, keep saying my name, boys. Let's see how long this actually lasts.
Yeah, it doesn't bother you. I mean, that's something you get used to and come to expect in other buildings. I think more than anything, if anything is gonna rile you up or throw you off, it's really the general excitement in a game when you're on the road, when you can really when they score one and then they get a chance and things are feeling chaotic in front of you and the crowd gets crazy and the energy level gets crazy. That's where it can start to bother you, where it feels like things are unraveling and getting out of control when it's just chaos and the fans are going crazy and you can't see anything and the puck hits the post and they've scored a couple and the fans are just crazy like that. When they jump on the name chants, it just come to expect that. I always laugh because my mom would hate it when they would do that, or the other players' moms would always think it's so mean. But there's a couple good places. Nashville and St. Louis do a good job of counting out your goals and kind of start to suck once you get to like 4 or 5. Then you got a really long. The whole place counts out your goals, but you just got to kind of chuckle with it. But no, it doesn't really bother you.
I feel like in a playoff game, Stuart Skinner, he's been in this building for now years in a row. I want to put words in the guy's mouth, but come on. He's got bigger fish to fry than a couple of these Will Ferrell fans.
And I was going to say, like, Stuart Skinner's been through some pretty hot buildings, Vancouver, Dallas, Florida. He's been through all the waves, so I think he knows how to mentally adjust to the crowd.
Dubnyk, I had one more because we had 3 keys to the game. It was Bouchard, it was Skinner. We got one more, but I do want to ask you, because I'm curious if you saw it. Ryan S. asked, what the hell was that? From LOL. Did you see that, brother? For game 1 energy vibes. You need 1 energy.
I instantly started I started sending messages out that said LA needs to lose by 100 tonight, just for putting in a harmonica group for game one of the play. This is LA. You've got like Grammy singers. You've got everybody you could ever imagine to bring out for the LA Kings playoff run for anthems. That Nashville did an unbelievable job with that, where they were during their run, they were bringing out Carrie Underwood and Keith Urban, and I mean all the big names. Blake Shelton was going out there. Like, this is LA. You got your pick of the litter, and you went with the Korean group harmonica. What? I mean, I think they showed Kuzmenko laughing on the bench. She's laughing. And how do you not?
This whole bar was laughing their ass off in this moment. Also, tomorrow for the Oilers Nation fans, we might have an Oilers Nation everyday lead with Tyler Remchuk. May or may not involve the harmonica. May involve the kazoo, because Liam said I own a kazoo, but not a harmonica. That's a classic Liam thing.
Hey, listen, that's what you see on a Sunday 3-3 in the American League on like kids' school day at a 1 p.m. You get like the kids' harmonica group, not game one of the Stanley Cup playoffs in Los Angeles.
Dude, I thought that was so incredibly weird. Also, the chat, just loving you right now. Y'all be crazy, says Doobie. You are actually so refreshing to listen to. Bosh, Doobie knows puck? Who knew? Spot on analysis. Then classic, I hate Stuart Skinner. Just gotta throw that one in there as well. The news booing was hysterical. And Final Buzzer says, I love when strangers chant my name. So our keys to the game tonight, Stuart Skinner, Evan Bouchard, and the final one was power play dominance for the Edmonton Oilers. Now in total in the evening, they go 0 for 2 with the man advantage. I would say, especially to start that game, they look like a unit that had not played together in a real NHL game in quite a minute. Now, I thought that had more to do with gaining the zone. It was getting set up and then making a couple passes before you knew it. It was back going out the other way. Connor McDavid, 97, is a cheat code when trying to enter the zone. I don't know. It just looked sloppy. It just looked ugly. You also got to give credit. The LA Kings, I think in the regular season, don't quote me, but I think they were second in the NHL on the penalty kill. Darcy Kemper, obviously a great goaltender. But Doobie, the Oilers, the last 3 seasons have owned, and I will use the word owned, the LA Kings with the man advantage, whether or not how good they were in the regular season. It's only 1 game. It's only 2 power play opportunities. But the Oilers did not look like the Edmonton Oilers with the man advantage tonight.
No, they didn't, and LA did a good job. They were aggressive. I actually didn't mind the first power play as much. The second one I didn't like at all, and this is a weird situation to be in because critiquing Connor McDavid and these guys on how they run the power play is tough to do. The second one I just thought was sloppy, a lot of turnovers and a lot of clears down the ice. The first one, I would have liked to see them establish a shot more, and again, when I talk about establishing a shot, this isn't like floating pucks to the net and just getting shots on goal. But I think there was a couple of opportunities, especially the one I can think of. Again, telling McDavid what to do sounds silly, but he spun off. LA was playing very aggressive, and so it can get hard. But then, hey, listen, if I'm Edmonton and they want to play aggressive on Connor McDavid, the guy can beat anybody one-on-one in the blink of an eye, which he did multiple times tonight. But there was one that he spun off, and he had a full head of steam. He was walking downhill through the slot. I almost think he could have gone to his right and maybe made a pass across the crease or ripped it, and he kind of chose, he's so good at shimmying, but he kind of shimmied off to his left, and then he tried to dish it off. Nothing came of it. To me, that was a good opportunity with a head of steam downhill to just load up and rip it and establish a shot. And usually if you can establish a shot, if you're constantly passing, that's going to be easier to defend. If you show yourself as a threat to shoot, that's going to then, maybe you won't score that, but maybe you will. Listen, I don't mind Connor McDavid walking down Main Street with a head of steam, taking a shot. It's going to go in sometimes. So I found that on the first power play that they did pass up a few that I would have liked. But and then the second one, again, too many turnovers, too many clears. But listen, only 2 opportunities as well. I think in a game, you get a game where there's 3, 4, or 5. They're going to get the momentum going. There's just no way to keep these guys off the score sheet on the power play.
So we kind of mentioned it there off the hop. We talked about the refereeing, and I'm never a guy. Also, Dubnyk, you're gonna learn. we have to kind of talk. Nothing I ever say is telling Connor McDavid how to play on the power play, but we do have to touch it. Everybody in the chat knows we defer to 97 when that goes down, but we got to be honest. We got to try and give it a go. You
We'll
mentioned
do our best.
with some soft calls. I don't want to get too into that. I thought it was soft as baby shit, and I will leave it at that. The Brett Kulak one to start. Let me ask you this one about the Jake Wallman over the glass challenge. Everybody in this bar was super confused because we didn't even know if you could challenge that. Okay, if they are challenging it, the Edmonton coaching staff must have another angle, not just that same one they keep showing us on the broadcast where I don't know if that puck is changing direction. That's not going to be conclusive to me. I'm curious what you thought overall refereeing, but specifically that Oilers challenge.
God, let's run through it quick. The Kulak call was terrible. Then they missed 3 calls that should have been called when Edmonton line decided to try to kill everybody in one shift. Just nailing guys from behind, and they didn't call any of that, which was good for LA because they ended up scoring on that. Hated the Hyman call was terrible. He gets an illegal check to the head, which never touched his head. Wallman call in front. You don't call roughing. You don't call one roughing in the playoffs in the third period to put a team down 5-on-3. That's absolutely absurd. Deneau's neck probably hurts from snapping it back so hard when he didn't even get touched. That's just insane refereeing. The Wallman one. So this is what I don't understand. Again, I just found out that you can challenge that call as well. So we're all on the same page. New thing we learned you can challenge. Now, very difficult, like you saw when they're showing the replays, to see. You can't see anything. The stands are black. The puck goes up. You can never see it. But you constantly think to yourself, well, in this situation with the risk of going down 5-on-3, somebody on the Oilers must have been very confident that there was video evidence that puck touched the glass, and yet they look at it for a very long time and decide that it doesn't. Now, the way it works, obviously, is because that call was made on the ice, it has to be absolutely conclusive. But again, you figure with the risk of going down 2 minutes 5-on-3 that whoever made that call is pretty damn sure about it. And I was joking with my buddies. I said, that was either a really stupid challenge or the NHL has terrible replays, and I'm going to roll with both on this one because I think somebody probably saw something. My guess is it did clip the glass, and they couldn't decisively see that it did. So somebody in Edmonton was confident enough that they saw it clip the glass, which it might have, and the replays aren't good enough in Toronto to get the job done. And the Oilers maybe woke up Stuart Skinner with a little 5-on-3 action, though, and kick off the comeback.
Be careful what you ask for. I laugh that you say you texted your buddies because when that got challenged, me, Tyler, I think Brett was involved in it. A couple of us all grouped up and huddled up, and we were like, hey, you can fucking challenge that? Like, I didn't even know that you could fucking challenge that.
You learn something new every day.
That's a rule? Okay. And then we're like, they must have something else because when we watched that replay 800 times over and over, there's nothing really conclusive for me that I was able to see it. You're also down 2 goals. I guess you're trying. It did work out. The Oilers did end up tying this hockey game. So hindsight 2020, whatever. My final one for you, Devin, before we let you go, and then we continue the rest of this post-game show. You have been awesome. This is everything we wanted of getting a former Edmonton Oilers goaltender on the show. But we had this you and me kind of discussion pre-show here. The Edmonton Oilers didn't get a whole lot of offense generated without 97 or 29 really in that third period. And we were discussing, it's only one game, but should the Edmonton Oilers be leaning towards going Supernova in the rest of the series or maybe game 2 of the series? Because it felt like when they were rolling all 3 lines that there just wasn't any consistent offense for the first half of that game. You needed the man advantage. You needed the 97-29 post-icing, post-penalty, post-TV timeout, whatever. My question to you, are you leaning towards the Oilers going Supernova, which for anyone new here means 97 and 29 together, usually with number 18, Zachary Martin Hyman. But do be curious, final question here. Did you read into any of that? Was that just me, or do you think they should maybe go Supernova?
Listen, I'm not an NHL coach, but Absolutely Supernova. I don't think. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. And I was thinking this. Obviously, you watched the fact that they tied the game, and the only reason they tied the game is because they did that. However, if I'm watching that entire game, I can't stand the balanced play because there's no. You have Connor being Connor, and you got Leon being Leon, but they're kind of by themselves a little bit, and that's not. It's not. I don't know. I didn't. To me, there was just like. There was no like identity to any lines. It felt like this kind of mix and match of random guys. I didn't even notice Hyman for most of the game, other than when he'd get on. But then look how awesome he was when they stacked him up. Obviously, they do it on faceoffs and after penalty kills. But to me, I would like to see the Oilers go top heavy. I would like to see them stack the top two lines with as much as they can and kind of have identity lines in the third and fourth because I like the guys they have. I think, your Connor Browns, your Corey Perrys, Adam Henriques, Janmark. I mean, I think you put Janmark up on the second line possibly, but, these guys, hey, listen, he scored a nice one, okay?
He scored one goal, okay.
Yeah, that's one more than a lot of guys. Now, listen, I'm just saying I would like to see it top heavy and have those lean on those guys for minutes. And the thing you do have to be careful on ice time because they can get you can exhaust them by the end of a game. But I mean, just look what they did. The Oilers after the second period just had nothing. Who scores? Connor passes to Leon and he puts it in the back of the net, and all of a sudden they have a comeback. Do that at the start of the game and see what happens, and maybe be up 3 or 4-0 instead of down 4-0. So. I don't know. Again, they don't pay me to be a coach, but I would at least, if you're going to start the same way with the balanced attack, I'd be ready to pull the trigger on Supernova real quick if you're not starting to generate offense.
Hey, they don't pay you to be a coach, but we pay you for your brain and your takes that's going on inside there. Stuart Skinner's mustache says, "We love Doobie, oil up. Y'all be crazy." Came for the koozie, stayed for the Doobie. Also,
That's a Kings fan.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So he's loving you as well. My one thing is that I do think Supernova, at least game 2, I think I'd like to see what Supernova could do, at least starting the game together. And I do think there's a realm. And I like that you mentioned there's the lack of ice time to the rest of the other guys. I think it's hard to get in a rhythm, hard to get touches, hard to do everything. But I think there's a realm that this team just played in one game, stayed well above 500 without 97 and 29. And these dudes were able to figure it out on their own. We've seen Nuge play great with Vasily Podkolzin and Victor Arvidsson. We've seen the Skinner, Rico, Brown line with maybe even Janmark in there as well. We've seen it work out for them, so I'd be curious what we will see with game 2. Devin Dubnyk, as good a guest as you would have hoped for the first game of Oilers Nation After Dark. Doobie, we really appreciate you. I also want to let you know, humble brag here, Bordzy's Bankroll, the 3 picks I showed you earlier. 1, 2, 3. 3 for 3.
Parlay all day.
The Oilers lost, but we still won. So shout out us.
There you go. Parlay all day, baby.
Shout out Devin Dubnyk, brought to you by Boston Pizza. Doobie, any final message for the fans? This was fantastic. We normally have you on Oilers Nation every day on Tuesdays. I don't know if we're gonna. Are you gonna be on the show tomorrow?
That's a good question. Actually, I'll have to check with the boss.
I should probably go check with Tyler. He's 5 feet away over
Yeah.
there, crushing beers.
Still here?
Doobie, we did a 7-hour mega stream today. Things got a little out of hand. There's a lot of beers.
You guys are still articulating words nicely.
Kennedy, can you just hand me that? Because that kind of works out as it's going. Yep. Let's just pull that one. You can only imagine a nice cold bottle.
I
delivered to me.
also received
Devin
one.
Dubnyk, brought to you by Boston Pizza. Doobie, you're a hit. And if you loved it in the chat, throw down your courtesy like. Doobie, we love you. We appreciate you. I can't wait to talk again on Wednesday.
Absolutely can't wait either.
All right.
Go to bed.
To our
I will.
Go to bed, Doobie. It's now past 1 a.m. over there in the Central Time Zone. Doobie, good night. We love you.
Night, guys.
Bang. There he is. Edmonton Oilers former goaltender, boys. That was awesome.
That was
That was everything you could ever want. I'm sorry. You You can talk to Devin Dubnyk if you.
I just feel like I don't know when to insert myself. That's what she said.
Pause.
Shout out. Doobie leaves. Dick jokes. 2 seconds later,
But
we
I-
find a way.
I wanted to bring this up. It sounds like, or looks like, the LA Kings have some more bulletin board material for the Edmonton Oilers. I found this on X. It looks like they're mocking Stuart Skinner.
Holy fucking shit!
I can bring this in right
Bring
now.
it
Please,
in
Brett,
right
if
now.
you can do that.
That makes my blood.
Like,
Also, very interesting move there with your
yes,
fingers,
yes.
boys.
To me, it's like
Oh my god! Yeah.
they're doing a group photo, acting as if they've won the series after game 1. LA, have you not learned your lesson after 2022 and 2023? You won game 1 and then lost the series, and you're acting as if this is the championship final. Like, I've never seen a team that's won nothing be so confident and cocky.
That
I'm bringing
for
it
everyone
in.
in the chat who can't see it yet, Brett will bring it in. It is a bunch of shirtless LA Kings. That's not the part of
Ew!
but they're all holding mustaches. while they're
I
posing
wouldn't
together.
do that.
Is that man
I
a
mean,
eight-pack?
there's a lot of other jokes to be made. I'm not going to make those jokes. You can imagine what those are, but yeah, it was not a huge fan of that. Darian says, "Show us it." R.I.P. Kings. Waz, I'm curious your thoughts. If we're going to get that from Devin Dubnyk for every single game to the NHL playoffs, that was awesome. That's every bit I wanted. That when this chat, I understand if you're not going to listen to me. I never played in the NHL as an elite goaltender, okay? But if Devin Dubnyk's going to tell you and break down all these plays, I think the box score hunters might be a little bit less and less.
Well,
Jay says he literally outplayed Kemper. I mean, hey, could say, I don't know, thoughts, final closing
well,
argument.
you had 2 goalies in that game that allowed at least 5 goals. Devin Dubnyk, I thought, said everything perfectly. I'm going to take his word over anyone in the chat. No offense, because this man played in the NHL. He's been to the dance. He's had those experiences. He knows what he's talking about, right? And, you know, people are going to probably pick apart what Dubnyk says as well. It's Stuart's going to need to name this and that. Dubnyk's been there. He's done that. He knows what he's saying.
Doobie was deadly, says Bayar Jakal Turgan Bayer.
Nice.
Shout out, says Doobie was deadly. Can't wait to have a deadly
I got it.
Doobie after this as
I
well.
got it in
Final
here.
buzzer. Bordzy never played goalie in the NHL. Here's my shocked face.
I got
Good one
the
there.
photo
got it,
here
Brett.
for
Hold
you.
up. This pisses me off. So if you look at that there, Brett, I'm just going to. So who are those 2 people?
That's Gavrikov and Kempe. The guy who stuck out his tongue like he just won the fucking cup. Attaboy, buddy.
Attaboy.
Hey, Gavrikov, how does Leon Draisaitl's fizz taste, you fucking coward?
Jesus, man.
Fuck
Whoa,
yeah,
wow.
Brett. Let's give it to him. All right, so now we're 15 minutes in, people. I think you can begin to expect that a lot of these Oilers Nation After Darks probably going to go long. They're also probably going to be sponsored by a little bit of alcohol in here as well.
What?
Empty. Let me pour this off camera as well.
That second one is also for you.
There's
from
so many
Can
beers on
someone
the ground.
pass me a cup,
friend.
please? You have the cups near you,
need
Mr.
a cup?
Bordato.
Wazzy, pass that second one also to him as well.
You're good.
Yeah, okay.
You're good. No free ads. No free ads. That's an Odd Company Nation
I
beer,
think one of
everyday
those is for
lager.
me.
Or it's a Pepsi, but I'd like to give a shout out, Brett, to Credit Bar. Yay, my favorite spot in the entire city. Arcade, bar, street food. Come on. Brett, we're about to move in here. Now, you and Patrick Puff get to split the producer workload, but granted, let's call a spade. You do way more of them. And I think you and we're about to move in here to Credit Bar. I keep talking about that in this little cubby, this little cozy area we've got. I would love a good old-fashioned Murphy bed that you could put up, drop it down. They've had a regular bed before, but I need the Murphy bed because we've got work to do because we are working right now. So we've gone through these goals. We got to do the scoring summary, which is going to be incredibly fucking long. I also bad for Brett because he has to clip all of these goals. He has to do it when we're at Greta, as this environment's getting nuts. So as the Oilers tie the game up, get closer, that just means more work for Brett Holden. And then all that work misses out on the celebration. Then has to clip the 6th and final goal for the LA Kings. Everybody in the chat, clap it up for Brett. Clap it up for Brett because he's been doing a fantastic job, not just tonight, but all year. Also want to say, Tattoo Bet Tattoo will go down in this bar. My tattoo artist backed out earlier today. A little bit upset about that one, a little bit pissed, but whatever.
Lance said that he knows one, and then I was talking to
I
somebody.
also DM'd the one that he sent me, and she didn't answer.
Oh,
she read it.
Somebody that I was talking to from Texas was talking to me and saying they want to do tattoos here in Greta. So I'm not going to put that out there, but sounds like there's somebody who's ready to work. And I saw her tattoos. Fantastic.
If you put this many beers in me that I've had tonight already, I'm getting tattooed on. Why do we even make the bet? Because I'm just going to do it regardless. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. We're going to go fast as fuck, boy, through all of this. So 1-0 for the LA Kings. They are on the power play, and it's an Anze Kopitar feed down low to Andrei Kuzmenko, where if you watch and you look at this one, Josh Brown, we were nervous about him being on the ice and in the Oilers lineup tonight. He just fell asleep on this play. Kuzmenko behind the net, sneaks out in front. Tough one to start this game. Not even 3 minutes in. Fuck me. That was the first shot of the game for the LA Kings. The more things change.
Is that even a shot?
Well,
technically it is.
It happened, 3 minutes in the game, kind of reminiscent of the Edmonton Oilers. Zach Hyman, as he just parks himself on the post and taps it in. And, yeah, a little bit lazy and lack of awareness there, I believe, from Josh Brown.
Ren says, all right, Bordzy, don't bore us. Let's skip to the third period.
Honestly.
Should we just skip to the third period?
Good.
Should we just skip to it?
You know what happened.
So, yeah, you guys all know what happened. We all watched it. We had Devin Dubnyk break it down first as well. So it was 4-1 after 40 minutes in this hockey game. Leon Draisaitl scores a goal from his office, gets a shot that I needed on goal for the Bankroll. With 6 seconds remaining in the second period, we went, oh, okay, at least we got one. Shutout, Darcy Kemper. There you go, pal. Then we get into that third period. Let's start it off because you don't get to see these very often. A Matthias Janmark goal with his stick against an NHL goaltender. Trent Frederick drive this one wide, brings it in the net, scramble ensues, chaos ensues, and there it is. The janitor cleaning up the mess, finding a way to beat Darcy Kemper. Celebration was awesome. This bar fucking exploded when they realized it was Matthias Janmark. Payton, not intern Payton, the guy that's 6'6", wearing the BP's hoodie. Co-worker Payton officially now. Clap it up.
Yes.
Clap it up. Woo! What?
Clap it up.
The young goat.
Jesus
Sorry,
Christ.
boys. Clap it up.
Man, either way, he blew it up for that one. He got so excited. We got to see a Matthias Janmark goal with a stick against the goalie.
Well, we actually had a Janmark jersey in the building. It was not Payton, but there was a man
There was another one?
on the other side there.
Two people?
And,
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
it's crazy.
I'm kidding.
But Matthias Janmark now with back-to-back playoff goals here. One in.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Damn, what a pull was he? Boy.
He shows up when it matters. That's all. In the regular season, that's just preseason for Matthias Janmark. Let's be honest here. So it was nice to see him on the board. It's probably going to give him a little bit of confidence because he tends to get hot and gets up for these playoff games as he should. And hopefully that sparks a little bit more belief in some of the other forwards down the lineup.
I can agree with this one. Lance Kane said, I chirped Yaremchuk so much on that goal, Brett. He was fucking giving it to him.
Dude, really quick, look at the odds on this when we replay this. Look at the odds that the Oilers come back here.
Plus 2,500. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Thank God I didn't bet the comeback because I would have had my heart ripped out of my chest. But I was thinking about it. The next goal in the third, Kevin Fiala. Come on now. Oh, shit, Rick's here as well. All right, Waz, you're getting traded out. So this one here is a Kevin Fiala.
I don't want to steal no time. We're still good, you guys.
All right, quick timeout. Pull that right in there.
It was not the way we wanted to go. Not off the stop. Not off the. We're still good to go. We're still good to go. Listen.
There you go.
I'm watching right here.
There you go. You're on this one. This one's very live.
That one.
Rick, thoughts on the game? They woke up an animal in the third period for the Edmonton Oilers. We've never been a Game 1 team. We've never claimed to be a Game 1 team. We've won 3 Game 1s out of the last 14 since 2017. Nothing new. Tell the fans why they shouldn't worry.
Who dominated that game? If you watch, do not look at the score, but who dominated that game?
In the third period, the Oilers did.
That was our game. We have far more offense than they do.
Oh,
Just
for sure.
allow it to come.
if Bouchard doesn't give them their offense, it's a whole different
Stop.
You have
A lot of
eyes,
those.
you saw
No,
that.
yes, those are his mistakes. I'm not
Don't,
gonna.
let's call. do
However,
things different.
I'm also gonna tell you he does a lot of like little minor things that nobody else understands.
And he had 3 points tonight, so like you got to take the good with the bad. You got to everything. Overall,
If you put up points, he put up 3 points
they had 3 up.
and 3 negatives and ended up with
He ended
0.
up +1. He ended up +1.
You can't say anything about him.
Yes,
and
you
also,
can. If you have eyes, you can say something. If you watched,
okay, that's that
the literal middle of the ice.
that's fair. But the biggest issue is offense.
Yeah.
It's been the same way all year long. Don't look at the goaltender. I get it. You want to look at Bush.
Die by the sword.
You got to put pucks on the net, you guys. That's all it is. When they put pucks on the net in the third period, what happened? What happened in the third period when we put pucks on the net?
Tied it.
They woke up and we became a different animal. They woke something up in the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm also going to tell you this. Officiating was a little soft.
Okay, it wasn't a
I'm not leaning on him. The boys got to be better. Offense has to show up first. Score the first goal. You score the first goal. You put their whole offensive, their whole game plan up in flux. Score the first goal. They're not used to that. They want to score the first and then lock it all down.
And I don't want to get into it. The refs are not the reason the Oilers lost this game.
No.
But there were some soft ass calls.
They're
Starting the game
terrible.
with that Kulak holding the stick.
Terrible.
I
There's
went,
a slash
uh-oh.
on Skinner, slash on Jeff right before the goal. Terrible. Questionable officiating. I don't want to say terrible because I'm not trying to like lean on them.
No, exactly.
Not great. Not great.
The reason the Oilers lost
Not
that game.
great. But
Didn't help.
But the offense needs to fucking show up. That's all it is.
They have game 2, right, Rick? Tell me
course
they
they
got. There we go. That's
How
what,
many times?
That's what we're looking for.
How many times do we lose game 1?
All
And
the
how
time.
many times
We're
do
going
we
to get
win
to it
game
with
2?
a good, bad, and oily.
Rick,
but
I'm
you're
looking
damn
again.
straight.
I'm looking again.
You want one of
I was
these?
about to say fisted.
That's what you want? I promise you right now. Just because they snuck out game 1, they actually snuck out game 1 when they should have walked with it. They're going to sit there and like they hear the footsteps. Our offense needs to come out next game. That's all it is. They have to come out and do it like they do it in practice. Like you do it a bunch against the midget
Rick, I
players.
got to keep the show going. We're over an hour. My question to you, score prediction for game 2. How much the Oilers win by?
5-2 Oilers.
Fucking rights. There it is. There's my pal, Rick.
Nice.
Come on.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah,
don't
you
hit
give me another one? Okay, man.
Rick slapped me across the
Oh,
nip
Lord,
so
I'm
hard
bruised
during the
there.
game today. And then I looked at him and I went, give me another one. Also, people, if you're new here for the playoffs, I apologize for that. But I don't actually apologize for that because Rick's going to come in when he pleases and he's going to leave when he pleases. Brett, remember last year? He spilled an entire beer on my laptop.
Yeah, that was. You were so
I
mad.
was furious.
You were
I
so
was
mad.
furious.
You know, Aaron, I'm used to being verbally abused, but Rick physically abuses me on these shows.
It's a little bit different. Okay, Kevin Fiala scores. Fuck it. Who gives a shit about that? Corey Perry scores for the Edmonton Oilers' third goal for them. Connor McDavid drives it to the net. It's a beautiful play. He just says, Gavrikov, get the fuck off of me. I'm taking this one right to the hoop. Puts it on a platter for one. Corey Perry, number 90. And then finally, after that, Zachary Martin Hyman with 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the game. Down 2, I might add you, assisted by Corey Perry and Connor McDavid finds a way. You're sitting there going, oh, shit, could the Oilers actually do this? Suck it, Will Ferrell, is what I said in real time. And then Brett, Connor McDavid scores the game-tying goal, feeling real good about things here. He just says, you know what? I'm going to take this one. You're going to give me that much time and space, that low, that close to the net. He drives it in. The celebration, these guys, I blacked out during this moment. It was
This
insane.
place blew up.
I was ready for triple overtime going past 2 a.m. AGLC, what do you want from me? We're still going to have some beers. The Oilers are still playing. Look at that celebration from Connor McDavid. Hook that to my veins. And then, unfortunately, Philip Deneau scores the second goal of the game. Second
I'm
of the
not
series
showing that
at
one.
19-18. This is by Vladislav Gavrikov and Trevor Moore. And that's all she wrote for the Edmonton
Watch
Oilers.
Connor right here. Because you want to talk about leaders taking control, and we saw Leon take control late in the
that in my
second
veins.
period. Look at that.
Holy shit, that fired me up.
Look at that. Hold
That
on. We're
is-
getting this.
That is an athlete.
I can't even get
doing-
it. That's how quick it
You
is.
did it great during the plays. We can imagine.
There it is. But you see him.
Yeah.
You see him. That's a guy who's leading the fucking charge.
Cinema, says Ren. Ren's on fire in the chat right now. And then as I said, yeah, whenever the LA Kings end up winning this game, it doesn't even matter. Let's go now to the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Oodle Noodle. We're well over 60 minutes. We're just getting the good, bad, oily now. Brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Download their app today. Use their customer rewards point system. If you sign up for an account, you get 1,500 customer loyalty rewards points, which is $15 in real legitimate value. Shout out Oodle to the Noodle. Brett, I already forget what we picked for good, bad, and oilies. So you can just throw it on the screen for me. The good, we went with Pissy Leon because we didn't see it a ton this season. Obviously, Leon Draisaitl scores a big goal. He now has 18 goals in 19 career playoff games against these LA Kings in the last now 4 seasons. He's a man possessed and his shot prop as well on the Bordzy Bankroll. But at one point the cameras did catch him, kind of losing his shit on the bench a little bit. I don't know who he was yelling at. I think he was just yelling in general, yelling to be heard. But he looked angry. He looked rattled. He was yelling at anyone that was willing to listen to him. That's a good. The good is Pissy Leon.
I agree fully because Leon Draisaitl is definitely one of the leaders on this team. He's not afraid to speak up. And personally, if one of the leaders, like on, let's say any sports team I'm on, or even you, if you call me out for being shitty at my job, that's gonna fire me up and elevate me to kind of do better.
So
Yeah, I'll be honest. There's been moments where you tell me like, "Hey, you got to step up." That's gonna get in my brain. Okay, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And I'm hoping that message got across to some of the Edmonton Oilers because they definitely needed it.
So there's some other goods in here. Third period comeback. That Selly from Davo could also be the good. Playoff janitor, says Matthias Janmark in the chat as well. Austin also said $20 donation for a win/shotgun postgame. Give me an idea.
Jesus. I had too many shots for every Greta goal here.
Make it 50. Oh, yeah, and I can't say it. Greta has surprises for every single goal the Oilers score. Put 2 and 2 together, figure out what that could be.
I had too many surprises tonight.
It could be dangerous.
Lance says it in the chat, but I'm not allowed to say it, so he can say it, and we're allowed for that. With good comes bad. Brett, what we had picked before doesn't really apply now, but I'm curious if it's still the bad. We wrote the last minute goal. Good, because before we had written the whole fucking thing. And that was before the Edmonton Oilers pulled off that third period comeback that never really was. Put that last minute goal. We broke it down with Devin Dubnyk. That's a tough play for Stuart Skinner to read. Philip Deneau doesn't intentionally get all of that puck. It flubs over Stuart Skinner. It goes past him. For the energy and how much this bar went up was to instantly pop the balloon. I was literally in the fetal position in all fours on the ground. That sucked. That's bad.
Yeah, and honestly, the last minute goal it sucked. You deflated everything. We were hoping for OT, a little bit of a pause between that, and it's like, woo! It was just unfortunate, and I don't want to blame Stu too much. It was a bit of a fluky goal, to be honest.
Yeah, the definition of
Dubnyk broke it down perfectly. If you're just joining us, scroll
back to the beginning.
Exactly.
Mr. Cadet, I hit my couch after that goal. That's, an inanimate object, so that's pretty good.
I punched Wazzy after that.
Everyone's
bad.
Right in the face.
Bad. That's bad.
No.
You're right.
I did.
Yeah.
At one point, I did slap Brett's booty, and that was fun.
There you go. Austin says, you want 50? Send me a decal in at 20. We win. We shotgun 20 on the table. I don't know what that means. Donate. I'll probably shotgun a fucking beer, Austin. We're going to be incredible for the rest of these playoffs. With good comes bad. With bad comes oily. And we went with a 3-11 record in game ones. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we never claimed to be a game one team. None of us has ever really thought of us as a game one team. I said today on pregaming, the goal here is to steal one on the road. Doesn't matter if it's game one or game two. They all count the same. Take it back to Edmonton Rogers Place. Friday night, I might add to you. If you're not going to the game, you should probably come to Greta because Brett and I are going to be hanging out here. The Oilers, the 3-11 record, yeah, you don't feel good about it. But the Oilers have shown time in, time out, time and time again is the phrase I'm trying to use. They find a way to win in these series. They also woke up an animal in the third period. The Oilers could have been a third period comeback, but are you concerned losing game one?
No, I said it in pre-gaming. Game ones are kind of a wash. You get a feel for your opponent, this and that. It does not determine a series. If you lose game two, more of a concern. Yes, if you win the first game, it gives you a little bit of an advantage. We know that. That's simple math. But I'm not putting stock into a game one because we saw a lot of good from the Edmonton Oilers. We also saw a lot of bad from the LA Kings. We saw that they are breakable. The Oilers can score on this goaltending and get past his defense. Connor McDavid, he turned it up a notch. I know he wants a little bit more help from other players like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who I will get into later.
Combo. These guys look like Oilers fans.
What?
You don't say, hey, buddy?
I wonder what the name of the channel is.
What gave it up? Was it the Oil Up? Was it the Oilersnation? Was it After Dark?
Thank you for watching. Throw
Holy
down your
shit.
like. Thank
We
you
might
for
be from
subscribing.
Edmonton.
Argyle
Welcome
said
to the
going
show,
60.
kid.
We're Kings fans from Edmonton.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's go Dodgers.
Argyle
Clippers
going 60
suck.
minutes without a shot. Ain't it? Yeah, I agree with that one as well. Let's go now quickly to our Boom and Doom. Boom, Doom. Brought to you by Odd Company Nation Beer every day longer. If you can't tell, we've had a couple of them this evening, and we are having a great time. You can get these beers to Edmonton locations, either downtown, either Ritchie, or simply check liquorconnect.com, and you could, yes, it's on this side. My arm is trying to grab that can right here through the graphic. There it is. Shout out to them. Throw in your booms, throw in your dooms. You guys know this in the chat by now. If you're new here, boom. Shout out to Costco guys. Good. Doom. Sad. Waz, you are my guest. I will let you go first. Who brought the boom tonight?
The boom. Some may disagree with me, but I will go with the easy answer. And Evan Bouchard, who I believe, let me take a look here. Oh, I thought he had.
Cut his mic.
Hold on. Hold on. He had three. He had 3 points.
I know, and he was responsible for 2 direct goals.
You give us, you take you through the Evan Bouchard.
So technically
that would
5
be a
assists.
walk. That would be no.
It's-
Damn it, Brett.
I think I have more of a
Dang.
doom than a boom.
Well, I asked you for a boom,
The boom was to Evan Bouchard because he had 3 points.
but he's also the doom.
He had 28 minutes of ice time.
I don't know where you're going with
That's
I
that.
don't know where you're going.
Give
with
this
Brett.
guy another one.
You got it.
Coming from you.
Me to go with the doom?
Hot take. I'm going Matthias Janmark. Obviously getting that goal. Yeah. What up, Cuh?
Cop out.
I'm obviously got that goal, but it also kind of kickstarted the Oilers. A guy who just does his job and goes out there, and especially for a guy that we have been talking about for the last month and a half, where it's like, well, if everyone's healthy, we're going to take out Matthias Janmark in this lineup. He sat there and went, really? Sounds good. I'm going to score my second goal in a playoff game straight. There you go. Thank you for giving me that stat, Wazzy. It's exactly what we needed, and good for him.
Boom, Yanni in here from Ren as well. A couple other people. What we got? Bouchard was up and down like the game itself. Exactly. That's where I can't give him a boom or a doom. Just give him impartial, and I don't have to have an aneurysm trying to think about Evan Bouchard. Percy says boom, Corey Perry. Yeah, that's a good one
yeah,
as well
yeah.
for me. I guess this is a simple cop-out. I'm going to go with Connor McDavid in this hockey game, as he had 1 goal, 3 assists, played 23 minutes, 3 shots all over the place. Connor McDavid had 5 hits in this hockey game as well. Something that you just kind of never really noticed in there, but he was playoff McDavid.
He was pulling the boys into this fight, and we were even saying it, and the same with Leon Draisaitl. They were getting into those battles. They were going
They
and
were
throwing those
practicing
hits.
what they were preaching on the bench.
100%, and that's what you need from leaders. Connor McDavid goes and scores that game-tying goal. Leon Draisaitl holding everybody accountable out on that bench, and guess who brought those boys back into the fight? It was Leon and Connor. That's exactly what you need, and especially going in these playoffs, that's who you need to be pulling yourselves into this fight.
They weren't dragging him back to Alberta, but they were dragging him back in the fight. For Dooms, I'm not going to say this one out loud, or at least the next part, but Amanda says Doom, Fogle being the enemy, and the King's blank picture. Amen. Amen with that. That was a very weird one as well. Waz, what do you got for Doom? Who brought the Doom?
My doom is going to go to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. You can call me a box score hunter, but I didn't like the fact that he had 25 shifts tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. 19 minutes, nearly 20, a -1 on the score sheet, no goals, no assists, and 1 shot, and 2 giveaways. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins just did not bring enough for me, especially in a game where you could have had another goal to make maybe 6-6, 7-6. Giving the Oilers a lead, who knows here. And aside Doom to Trent Frederick, unfortunately played 9 minutes and 11 seconds, but got an assist.
That was about to be my doom, is the fact that Trent Frederick finished this game with 9 minutes and 11 seconds of ice time. Also, shout out me. My birthday is 9/11.
Whoa.
So we all, you guys can learn that in the chat. Never forget Bordzy's birthday. But my doom is Trent Frederick has an apple. I was so excited. All of the Oilers Nation Everyday stream today, the talk around the office was, do you think Trent Frederick might be in the lineup tonight? Do you think he's going to bring that playoff energy? And while he gets the assist, he was involved in the game. A high ankle sprain. I just simply don't think Trent Frederick is even close to 100% right now with where he's at physically. But hey, he battled 9 minutes and you get one assist. I'm happy with you. I'm not giving Frederick the doom, but I'm giving Frederick's ankle the doom because that thing's pissing me off. Brett, you got a doom?
I'm going with the entire team for the first 40 minutes. Like, I'm not going to blame Stuart Skinner for, honestly, quite literally any of those goals. Wake the fuck up. This is exactly what you were talking about for the entire season, going, oh, we're waiting for the playoffs. We're waiting for the playoffs. Well, in the first 40 minutes of these playoffs, you're sitting here and with your thumb up your ass and playing like you guys weren't ready for this game. All you guys were talking about heading into this game is, oh, we're healthier than everybody thinks we are. We're healthier than we think we are. Then go and show it. And that's why I was really pumped to see Leon go, we're down fucking 4-0. Everything like that. And guess who brought them back into that fight? 97-29. That's where you need to be. But if you guys aren't going to wake up for those first 40 minutes, and that's going to be a trend for the next 4, 6, 7 games, you guys aren't making it out of the first round. So the first 40 minutes are going to be my dude.
I'm loving Ren. He says Frederick can take my ankles.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what? He can have mine. He can have yours. He can have yours. You guys didn't even agree to that. I'm willing. They don't want yours.
I have a bad left ankle.
That's
Again,
true.
like I said, my ankle's the only joint that I roll. So you don't want my ankles.
Once again, I love all the LA Kings fans in the chat because you guys have to be subscribed to actually talk in the chat. Checkmate. But also, throw down your courtesy like. We can all chirp around here. Everyone be respectful.
We're here for hockey.
We're here for fun.
We all love hockey, boys.
It's well past midnight over here in Edmonton. We're several beers
I was
deep.
in bed last
We're
night
having
by
a very
this
good
hour.
time. Next, I want to go to Bordzy's Bankroll, but I'm going to double ad read it here because they do have a new friend. Brett, it's Garage Superstore that is joining the show now. Garage upgrades and accessories made easy. They've got everything you need to organize, transform, and maximize your space. 6 full-size garages, walk-through real setups. They got storage solutions and cabinets, vehicle hoist, storage racks. They've got everything. Literally shop online or in-store 3407 Calgary Trail Northwest, South Edmonton, or visit them, garagesuperstore.ca. I could honestly use them. My garage is so disgustingly unorganized. It rattles my cage, and it's spring cleaning right now. And that's when you have to start going back in your garage and looking at the mess you've left. I could use Garage Superstore, so shout out to them. We're talking about losses. How about we talk about some wins? How about we talk about Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365, because you know it. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Breaking news coming in from then, where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner. Every face-off, hat trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, and every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. They're an official partner of the NHL. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. Brett, can I see it? So the options, check, check, check. That's a clean sweep. Game 1 of the playoffs. Bordzy, give me another one. Bang, bang. Give it to me.
Bang!
There it is. Bordzy's Bankroll, 97 2+ points, plus 130. Ka-ching, 29 3+ shots, minus 180. And I'm happy I didn't go to 4 shots for that one because that one hits. And then Jeffrey Scotty Skinner. We were talking about the anytime goal today on Oilers Nation Every Day. I said I'm not confident. I'm just going to go the 1 point. He has just as many goals as he does assists. What do you know? Jeffrey Skinner in his first playoff game gets his first playoff point. The Bankroll 3-4-3. It's been a minute. If you've been around here, it's been a minute since the Bankroll went 3 for 3. Oilers were injured end of the season. I just couldn't grasp anything. I wasn't feeling too confident. We made some money. You make any money tonight on Bet365?
No, because Nugent Hopkins didn't get one more shot.
That explains why he was your doom.
Kind of.
Brett, you got any profits?
I had a Leon Draisaitl anytime goal, baby.
That's
Bang!
Bang!
Good for you. Good
that
for
guy
you.
as well.
High five.
That random guy's getting a high
Bang!
five.
Yeah, he probably didn't hit another octopus or whatever he does.
I didn't hit anything.
Of course you didn't.
I didn't make one. But learning that Doobie is a parlay
spider.
guy.
It's a spider.
It is a spider, but learning that Doobie is a parlay guy, A, and B, I should have told him that I'm a plus chaser, boys. Because
Doobie's a parlay guy. Brought in Boston Pizza through the ad
Oh.
read, yelling at the referees, defending Stuart Skinner. That's my guy right there.
that's a pro.
Hey, did we just become best friends? We want to go do karate in the garage.
I can't wait for Doobie to come out to Greta because it seems like he's getting that soft spot, eh?
There's no way that he actually does, unless he actually does. And I told him he has an open offer to stay in my house with me to get the full
Yikes.
Bordzy pregame and after.
Yikes.
Yikes. Brett, you've never even been to my house before. So
No.
That's insane, right, chat? Either way, we're getting sidetracked. I think this is the time where we call it, we put a pin in it. Reminder, tomorrow Oilers Nation Every Day goes live, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Me, Tyler, Liam breaking it all down. We'll go through that very long scoring summary. And we'll tell you all the reasons not to fret and why you should be confident in the Edmonton Oilers in Game 2 was. Any final message to the fans? Awesome night here at Greta. 6 new playoffs at Greta Oil Up backdrop. And not the result we wanted, but I do think there's some things there the Oilers can hang their hats on.
They will win Game 2, and hopefully Nelly is on the next After Dark. He is in town.
Holy.
Mark Messier guarantee. And yeah, that's fact.
Nelly's in town.
Nelly is in town right now.
Where's your Band-Aid, bro?
Shout out to
What's
It was only just a dream.
Nice.
On that note, shout out to all of our sponsors, Greta Bar Yeg, Oodle Noodle, Odd Company, Bet365, Wilhawk Beef Jerky as well. We love them. Only the finest tasting meat products deserve that Wilhawk name. Garage Superstore, Bet365. I said it. We got playoff stuff going on as well. And finally, I do have a couple more super chats in here as well. Or did I? Nope, there they are. I'm going to find where we left them. Reminder, all your super chats are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation. And Mr. Cates. Nope, that one already had. There's so many of you here. There it is. Critical Mind, $5. This game proves Edmonton wins the series. Hell yeah, brother. No Ekholm, no Kane, and exposed Kemper. Absent terrible calls, this would be an easy Oilers sweep. Mackay and Dry. Bordzy bars, 10. Thank you. Needed this.
Bang, bang.
Taps, sticks for Dubnyk. Being here is too sick. Refs might fix, but won't change my picks. Our fucking Oilers winning in 6. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Mackay and Dry, you're the best. Lance Kane. Preach it, Dubnyk. Sean H. Oilers in 6.
Bang.
And unfortunately, that is not Sean Horkoff, but he will do. I love you all. Over and out. We have so many beers still laying around right here, so we've got to finish them. Oh, no. Poor us. Good night. Throw it on your courtesy like on the way out. We'll talk tomorrow, Oilers Nation Every Day. And then Wednesday, pre-gaming After Dark with our new friend, Devin Dubnyk. Good night. Sleep tight.